You remember how it was when the end came in Europe, and then again on VJ Day. You remember how it was when the boys began coming home in 45. Parades, cheers, backslapping. Nothing's too good for our boys. Thanks, fellas, for a tough job. Well done.
The tradition of welcoming soldiers returning home from the battlefield dates back generations, even centuries. There have also been times when the soldier hasn't heard thanks. Fortunately, we have learned from those times. The Minnesotans Military Appreciation Fund has embraced the tradition of honoring soldiers. MMAF was launched in August 2005, based on the vision of founder Gene Sitt. The mission was simple: say thanks and award a cash grant to every Minnesotan who has served in a combat zone since September 11, 2001. With his great passion and energy, Gene Sitt recruited leaders and supporters from across Minnesota. Gene and Gail Sitt donated the first $1 million. Over the next 4 months, MMAF raised public awareness at the State Fair, held the first Troop Appreciation Walk in downtown Minneapolis, and fundraising dinner with Senator John McCain as keynote speaker.
Young men and women will learn courage from your good character. They will learn from your love for something greater than yourself.
By the end of 2005, the first 1,000 checks were in the mail, as funds distributed approached $500,000.
Tonight, Sergeant Mark Keys and Sergeant Adam Sands were honored by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
In 2006, public support grew as MMAF honored troops on the Timberwolves court and the Twins field. And soldiers' stories were being heard.
I was wondering kind of how I was going to make my house payment. With my disabilities that limit my mobility, it's been really tough to get back into the swing of things. So this is just a huge weight off my shoulders, and I really appreciate what these guys are doing. It's just amazing.
By the end of 2006, over $1.5 million had been distributed and over 4,000 grants. In 2007, MMAF hosted the second fundraising dinner with keynote speaker Thomas Friedman.
I came here for one reason: to express my thanks to those who don't really ever get to decide the wisdom of a war, don't really get to determine its execution, don't really get to debate its virtues, but who, when the orders come, willingly answer the call.
That year, the general grant rose from $250 to $500, thanks to successful fundraising by so many people. By the end of 2007, over $4 million had been distributed in over 6,500 grants.
What an incredible group of courageous individuals. I'm not alone when I say I think that you are everyone's heroes.
Well, I've been in for 14 years now. I joined in 1996. This was actually my second deployment. You just think you're doing your job. You think you're doing what any other person would do. So it's weird when people say thank you and you get you go to the Capitol to get an award. I didn't think it was all a big deal. I'm happy I got a chance to serve.
By the end of 2008, 8,000 grants have been distributed with over $5 million awarded. MMAF continues to grow with the dedication of each of MMAF's donors. It is a shared success.
I'm very proud of my Minnesota heritage, but community efforts like Minnesota Military Appreciation Fund make me doubly proud.
In 2009, nearly 9,000 awards have been distributed, approaching $6 million.
I served for a little under 3 years, was wounded in Iraq, and that led to a medical discharge. I ran into a buddy who told me about the MMAF. Not only financially did it help, but they've led to doing a lot of cool things, meeting a lot of cool people through the program. Just last week, we got to raise the flag at the Twins Stadium, which was a pretty exhilarating experience when 30,000 people are cheering your name after they hear you got a Purple Heart.
In the effort to say thank you, people come together from all across the state. From the annual walk to the fundraising dinner, each donation has made MMAF the largest organization of its kind in the country, with approximately 90% of donations paid out directly to grant recipients.
It's almost like you're in a time warp. You get home, I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. I was going to school before we were deployed. Tons of different things. Where am I going to stay? Where am I going to live? Ended up going to school at Metro State. I was going to have to put that semester on a credit card. And the grant came, it was like perfect timing. I ended up getting it and able to pay off that whole first semester.
Tim was also wounded in Iraq. Of the 4 people in his vehicle, he was one of 2 who survived. He downplays his injuries.
Nothing too major. I had some shrapnel that went into my foot, a little piece that went into my face. Out of the vehicle I was in, I was very, very lucky. You know, sure I went to Iraq, but you know, they definitely take care of us back here on this side. Minnesota has, you know, a lot of great individuals and a lot of great corporations and organizations that have donated these things for soldiers. You know, when all the hype, everyone's around, it's easy to get on board, but they've kept it going.
Yes, MMAF has kept it going. In 2010, nearly 11,000 grants have been distributed to our service members. Troops are still being deployed in great numbers. Continued support of MMAF remains vital, as our mission of thanks will only be complete when their mission is complete.